So this lecture is primarily concerned with CSS and just kind of some whys and wherefores with CSS. How do we get this stuff into the right spot of your document? So currently what we've got, building on what we did last time, we've got our CSS in a internal style tag here, right? So I've got my H1 tag, which controls the H1 color and the background color. I've got the column tag, or the column style, right, which is for my class down here in my HTML, so it controls the width and my height, margin, padding, and float of the divs down there. Now this is all in a head tag internal CSS style, which is fine, but this does get pretty cumbersome after a while if you're creating a whole web page. This is not much of a web page. It only has a few things on it. Routinely, you guys are going to get into creating web pages that have, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of lines of code. So this stuff doesn't make sense to cram it all into one document. You want to separate it out a little bit just for organizational purposes, and that's where external style sheets come into play. Okay, so what I'm going to do is scrape all this stuff out of here and start building an external style sheet just for ease of use and for global application. Currently, also, this style tag only applies to this one page, right? An external style tag would apply to every page of our website. I will demonstrate that more later as we go, but again, suffice to say, external style sheets are global. If I wanted all my H1s and my whole website to be aqua with a background aquamarine, I would put it in an external style sheet, which I'm going to do now. So how do you do that? You file new, and you take all of your CSS, you cut it, Command X or Control X if you're on PC to Mac, put it in your external style sheet and paste. Right now, I accidentally scraped up the style tag. You do not need the style tag in here. I'm going to go back into my HTML document and actually get rid of the style tag entirely. There we go. So now, I think this is a lot easier to see what's happening. I've got my HTML stuff pretty evenly called out here, easy to see, very simple to organize. And over here, I've got my CSS. Now I'm going to save this out into an external style sheet. File, save as, and I'm going to go into the same folder. So I'm going to go to my desktop and then go to my Web 2 Week 1 folder. My index is in this folder. I'm going to make a CSS subfolder just to organize it. You don't have to do this, but I'll go crazy if everything's inside the same folder. So I'm going to put that inside there, CSS subfolder, and save this out as style.css. .css is the important part. You can kind of call this whatever you want, but I would recommend against spaces or dashes or anything like that, just do a single word. We'll make it a lot easier later on to remember. Save that. There we go. Now it all lights up with my syntax colors. Now, it's not attached, mind you. It's in the same folder. Like if I look on the desktop here, this thing's in the same folder, which is important to note, right? Or it's I guess technically not in the same folder. It's in the same master folder. Here's my index file. Here's my CSS folder, my style.css. I need to link these two things together via my index.html to have them actually connect. Because currently now, I just broke my website. If I look at my website, it's busted. Right? All my CSS went away, right? Because I detached my CSS styles. Let's link them up. How do you link them up? Just Google external CSS and grab some code. Now, you can memorize this if you want. That's fine. If you have, that's okay. I don't have time for that. I'm just going to go to Google and I'm going to find this code. So this link rel style sheet, type text CSS, href. We're going to put our name style.css in here. The href is what you change. Everything else, you can remember that, you cannot remember that. I'm going to copy it and paste it. It's up to you whether you feel like doing that or not. I don't care. The important part though is that goes into the head of your document. So paste that there. And what you're going to do is fix this href section. So some things that people get confused on here. First things first, I'm going to put the name of my CSS sheet. Mine is style.css. I've got that right here. So it says style.css. But I've got to direct my computer, my index file, right, to the correct folder. It's in a CSS subfolder. So I'm going to go CSS/. And now notice brackets kind of picks up on this automatically. You could click that as an autocomplete, but there we go. I've routed my CSS folder / go down a directory to look for style.css, save, and hopefully, now if we look at our home page, our CSS is back, right? So it's no longer busted. We've got our div tags in here. It's all colors are back in. That's the essence of an external style sheet. It is organizational, right? It's global. It's to apply to the whole web page. Now every H1 in my entire document would have these properties, or at least the ones that have this style sheet pulled into it, right? It's faster, I think, if you're going to do global changes. If you want to, let's say you have, what are the benefits? So let's break down pros and cons here. Why would we even do an external style sheet? That's worth talking about. External style sheets, the whole big benefit of this is that if you would have, let's say, 100 to 200 pages on your website that have H1 tags on them, your client originally wants these things to be aqua, and then they look at the website and they go, this looks horrible, right? I can't read this. Let's change it from aqua back to black. You go, okay, if it's in an external style sheet, you go color, black, save, and now every H1 on every page of the website anywhere is changed to black, right? If you did it in an internal style tag in your head of your document, the way we did before, up here with style open and close and H1 and all that other garbage, you'd have to change it in every page. And if you had 100 pages, that's a lot of minutes of opening up files and changing stuff. So there's the main benefit of the external style sheet: big global changes. Kind of rambling, I get it, but you get the plan there. That's the idea. External style sheets, use them for everything, and then as we go forward, all the templates we're going to download later have these external style sheets. So that's the way I want you to do it. Hook them up like this. Hopefully that was helpful. If not, email me and let me know what you want to see.